Hey there everybody. I'm going to be talking today about Hearthstone. I've been playing Hearthstone since before the beta came out, and I have a love-hate relationship with it. The Witchwood expansion was recently released, and I decided to bite the bullet on this one. I've never actually bought or paid for cards before for Hearthstone. When the adventure sets came out, I did purchase those because I think they were a great value. I absolutely would still buy them if Blizzard would release them because you've got all the cards for a set, even if it was a much smaller set. Either way, Witchwood came out, they offered the 70 packs for $50, and it looked interesting, and I bought it. Now that the game has been out the expansion's been out about 2 weeks, I really don't know if it was worth it or not. If I take a look at the cards I have, I did get about 4 legendaries, of which only one of them was standard viable. The other 3 were complete garbage. One of them was the druid one that lets you cast a free creature spell every turn starting on your opponent's turn, so that one seems to be pretty much garbage. And there were 2 others, and they were just completely forgettable. Looking at them, I don't even think they're going to be ones that are going to be viable in a future expansion. They're just not interesting and not worth it. Either way, I've spent my $50. I've been playing Standard for the past 2 weeks, or excuse me, Constructed, whatever it's called, and I'm really not making any progress. I don't have enough cards to make a T1 deck. I did dust and I created Baka, but even still I don't have enough dust just from purchasing Witchwood to craft the epics that I need. I just don't have enough cards to make something that's viable all the way up to the higher ranks. And for $50, I don't consider that a good value, and it's very disappointing. I really enjoy Hearthstone. I really like the cards. I really like just being able to play online quickly, but Hearthstone just it needs something right now. I don't know if it needs cheaper cost cards so that everybody can afford to get in there and craft those tier 1 decks, or maybe that's not the issue at all. Maybe the issue is that there's no real creative room in Hearthstone right now. If you're playing on ranked, then you, even at rank 20, and I promise you, as a scrub who has spent way too much time there, you're going to face the top tier decks in there. Usually it's someone either who was just starting up for the season and they're bringing in their Warlock deck they had from maybe two seasons ago that they're dusting off. But either way, rank 20 is not anymore, at least not now in Witchwood since it's been released. It's not where you can go to play decks that aren't tier 1. It's just 1 out of every 3 decks is a great tier 1 deck, and you're going to get stumped by it unless you're just playing a similar deck. Going back to what I was saying, is there's no creative space right now in Hearthstone. If you play the unranked matches, well, you're still facing the same thing. And the reason being is that people go into the unranked matches because that's where they want to get their easy quest gold. And I think maybe that's one of the things that needs to change, because when you go into the unranked, you would think, hey, this is the place where people are just kind of screwing around with decks. They're playing stuff that's not tier 1. And in my experience, that's not the case. It's still people in there playing the top decks, trying to grind out their daily quest. Or, you know, I can understand maybe you've got a tier 1 deck and you made 1 or 2 changes, but then why would you go to unranked to test it? Wouldn't you be better off going to ranked to test out those changes and see how it really is? But there's no creative space. What I would do if I was Blizzard is, one thing I would think about, you know, making a game mode where you do not get any rewards for playing it. You don't get 10 gold for every 3 wins. You can't, games you play in there don't count towards quests. I think maybe this would be the creative space where people could go and they could play their fun decks. Like you see Dane from YouTube, he plays all those great wild decks, but he gets frustrated because he's playing wild and he's playing against the rank 1 decks. You know, if he had somewhere he could go and he could play these meme decks and he could see the other people playing meme decks, I think it would just open up a lot more creative space. Because me personally, I don't really care about playing ranked. The only reason I do it is because I want the card back, and getting 5 wins doesn't take that long, but there's nowhere fun to play. I relate it to Magic the Gathering, where at least when you're playing with friends you can have kind of that kitchen table magic where you've just, everybody's playing the cards they have. They're not tier 1, they're not the best, but at least everybody's kind of on the same playing ground. And right now, in my opinion, there's nowhere to have that kitchen table experience playing Hearthstone. Now you could say, oh, well, just, you know, add friends and play that way, but The honest answer is I don't play online to play with people I know. I play online to just get that jump in, jump out experience. I don't want to have to worry about, hey, are you going to be online tonight? Yeah, I'll be online. I'll play you then. I just want to jump in, play, and I want to have somewhere I can go where it's just not going to be top decks all the time. And that's what Hearthstone is missing. So I think Hearthstone either needs to provide another space for it, or Hearthstone needs to dramatically increase the value you get for money, so that when you spend the $50, you can absolutely positively have enough cards or dust to make a viable tier 1 deck. In my opinion, you should be able to make even more than one. You should be able to, for $50, I should be able to craft at least 2 or 3 top tier viable decks to play with. So that's my rant. I bought the Witchwood expansion. Was it worth it? I don't really know. I don't know.